Looking for a new Football Manager 2024 save? Then look no further than this video, because in this video I'm going to show you the top 5 clubs that you can rebuild in Italy right now. In 5th place is former Serie A side Benevento, who now find themselves in the 3rd tier of Italian football. And it wasn't that long ago that they had Roberto De Zerbi and Filippo Inzaghi as their managers. So they've had some very high profile managers manage the football club. Filippo Inzaghi, what a striker he was. Not great on the managerial front, but a brilliant striker in his day. The club was founded in 1929 and has a 16,000 capacity stadium with 8,000 season ticket holders. It was built in 1979. They play on grass surface, so there's already something there that you can work with. In terms of the club's vision, you want to get promoted back to Serie B and be heading your way towards Serie A. You've got to grow the club's reputation, and how you do that is getting back into Serie A. The finances to enable you to do that are here at this football club. You've got £6 million in the bank and £2 million worth of debt, and a small monthly payment as well of 50k. So you're not in any trouble there financially. But where the club needs a rebuild is on the pitch as well. They've got a very, very good young squad. Nermin Karic is a very, very good Swedish midfield player. Will be top quality for Serie C. He will be an absolute beast. He will help you push into Serie B and probably a top table Serie B team as well. Their squad is fairly young. They've got some players out on loan. Other players like Riccardo Capellini at centre-back looks very, very good for the 3rd tier of Italian football as well. Other players that I like are Importa. Ricardo Importa. I like him because of his name. His stats are good for the division, and he is a bit of a Benevento legend as well. Can you take Benevento all the way back to Serie A and start competing with the likes of the both Milan sides, the Old Lady, and so much more? In 4th place is Pescara. They were once an Italian Serie A side but have fallen down the leagues throughout the years after being founded in 1936. They've got a 20,000 capacity stadium, decent season ticket holders at 3,000 season ticket holders, and £13 average ticket price. They've had some big players play for them in the past. Marco Verratti, Dunga. They've had Zdeněk Zeman as manager. If you don't know about him, he's an early 2000s cult hero. What a manager he was. Fabio Grosso as well, who's been in the news lately after his sacking from Lyon. But they've had some big, big players play for them. The club vision is to try and get back into Serie B via the playoffs this season. If you don't do that, you will get sacked by the club. In terms of the finances that they can offer you, nearly £4 million in the bank is very good for an Italian side in the 3rd tier. Debts and loans, there is no net debt and there is no transfer debt, so it's a clean slate. So you've got a chance to build your club and build your club in the right way. And the squad gives you that opportunity as well. The squad has got some very talented players. Ivan Mesic, the Slovakian centre-back, is very good for Italian Serie C. He's a wide centre-back, can play in a 5, he can play in a 4 as well. He's been at the club for 9 games, came from FC Neuseeland and was one of the decent players for them. Didn't quite make it there, but now finds himself at Pescara. Other players like Luigi Capone, what an Italian name that is. He's an advanced forward who will score you a few goals in Serie C. He come from Potenza. He's now at Pescara and he scored 5 goals in 35 games. But I know you guys can make strikers into absolute Erling Haaland, new gens, regens, whatever the word is you want to use. Other players that I like, I mean, I took a look at an Estonian international. Who doesn't love an international player from a random country? And Tunjov, I've definitely killed his name, but that's a thing on this page and this channel, is that he could be absolutely class. He brings international experience, be very good at Serie C level. You might have to move him on when you get to Serie B. But Pescara do have a lot of talent in their squad. And I just want to highlight another player that I think is going to be very good is Eduardo Vergani. He looks absolutely class. He's got the best potential in the squad. Came from Salernitana. He's got 6 goals in 28 games. He's only 22 years of age. The pressing forward is a big, big talent. Can you take Pescara back to Serie A and back to the big time? Is there a more iconic kit than the Palermo one? Well, maybe Venezia, but we'll let the crowd decide that one in the comments below. And if you love save videos, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel because I've got so many of these. Anyway, back to Palermo. They have had some up and down times in recent times. They are an unbelievable club. Formed in the year 1900 at the turn of the century. They've got a 36,000 capacity stadium built in 1932. Good level of season ticket holders at 10,000. They've had some unbelievable players play for them. Josip Ilicic, Pablo Dybala, as I like to call him, Edison Cavani. The list really does go on with this football club. They are a mercurial team, and they find themselves back in Serie B after being in Serie C for so long. They're back on the climb, but not quite back to where they was playing European football and a very solid side in Serie A. The club's vision is for you to finish in the top 4 places in Serie B, trying to get you back into Serie A. Now we need to develop players, sell them for a profit, increase the commercial revenue. Well, the only way you're going to do that is get Champions League football and get back into Serie A. Growing the club's reputation as well is another thing that you have to do. These are some tough things to do for the board. They also want you to sign higher reputation players so you increase the reputation of the club. But you're going to have to pay them higher money, so you're going to have to balance your finances. And the finances are only at £4 million in the bank, so it's not big money to play with, especially for Serie B, moving on into Serie A as well. The debt, there's no debt at the club, so that does give you a springboard in order to build your club. Think Harry Redknapp. Think outside the box. Get free players in, free loans, all those top tips that every football manager creator will give you. Do absolutely work. Their squad's very good, I have to say. Jacopo Serge in the middle of the park is another good box-to-box midfield player. Came from Torino. He's played 34 games for Palermo. He's a decent Serie B midfield player. Won't hack it at Serie A, so you're going to have to rebuild your midfield there. They've got other good players like Petro Ceccaroni. I've had him on a few saves. I've definitely ruined his name. He's a good Italian centre-back. Very good Serie B. Lower-end Serie A centre-back, I have to say, in my humble opinion. I had him at Venezia on a save last year. He was fairly decent for me, I have to say. He ticked a fair few boxes. Roberto Insigne out on the wing as well. Comes from Frosinone. It's his first season at Palermo. He's a decent winger, especially in the lower leagues of Italy. He's not really going to be great when you get to Serie A, but he will do a job for you this season. Claudio Gomez, the former Manchester City graduate, has been on loan at Barnsley before, now finds himself at Palermo. This guy had stacks and stacks of talent, and he's not really lived up to it. Can you get the best out of him? Can you get Palermo back to Serie A, back to European football, and back to having big name players like they had in Dybala and Cavani? Parma are an iconic side, a team from my childhood that absolutely excelled. They had some great players, Asprilla, Cannavaro, Thuram, Crespo, just to name a couple. They were one of the teams back in the day when Italian football was in its pomp. They were one of the best, if not the best side, in my opinion. There were so many good sides at the time. Take your pick. But they find themselves in Serie B after being in Serie A a couple of years ago. They did have Gigi Buffon play for them as well. He started his career there and ended his career there, which was really nice for him, I have to say. The club vision is a simple one. Increase your commercial revenue, work within your budget. They're going to build you a new stadium as well, so don't sleep on that. But in the first season, you have to finish in Serie B's top 4. They want you really to get back to Serie A. You've got to develop young players, sign players for the future. It's basically about building up the club balance and building up the club finances. £30 million in Serie B is fairly strong, in my opinion. That's some big money down in Serie B. Debts and loans, they've got £4 million and a 73k a month debt repayment, which isn't going to hinder you at all. The thing that will hinder you is the squad. The squad is fairly decent, I have to say. Alessandro Cerati at the back is a decent young prospect from Australia, came over from Perth Glory, now plying his trade at Parma, playing at an iconic club. He will be absolutely very good for you. Osorio is the experience next to him at centre-back. The Venezuelan international came from FC Porto and has played 66 times for Parma and is a little bit of a cult hero at Parma as well, if I do say so myself. They do have Simon Sommer as well. The Swiss holding midfield player is an international at Switzerland, came from Zurich, now played 56 games for Parma. He's a very good option in the middle of the park. Experienced Hernani in at 29 years of age. The Brazilian is another experienced holding midfield player, meaning you can play some very good asymmetrical tactics with Parma. What I would say is Parma are a great challenge to rebuild them because they had so much success in the past. You want to get them back into Europe, back into Serie A, and back with a team like Cannavaro, Thuram. You want the biggest and best players back at Parma so you can make them the best team in Italy. Sampdoria are the best club that you can rebuild in Italy. They have had some players play for them in the past. Gianluca Pagliuca, Ruud Gullit, Gianluca Vialli. What a player he was. Rest in peace, man. Roberto Mancini, David Platt, as well. Not from Coronation Street. He was actually an England midfield player, and a very, very good one as well, I have to say. They've got a very nice kit. They're a very good club. They're used to being in Serie A. They're now in Serie B. It's a shame to see them in this state. The club vision is to increase the commercial reputation and revenue of the club, sign young players and move them on, basically. They're going to expand the stadium, but you have to get promoted back to Serie A at this point. Finishing Serie B's top 4 place is really what they want, is you to get back into Serie A, back into the big time. And with the finances in place, £9 million, that is possible. But the debts and loans will hold you back in this save. You've got 150k a month debt to go out, £30 million worth of debt to clear as well. It will have some impact on your transfer budgets and players that you can bring in and wages that you can offer. It's a shame, but Samp are in a bit of a sticky situation in real life as well. They've got some players that you will recognise. First up, Fabio Borini, AC Milan, Sampdoria player as well. Now, he is an absolute baller for Serie B. He never lived up to his potential. Sunderland fans will tell you that as well. Can't believe he's so old. I remember him playing for Sunderland. What a time that was. I mean, yeah, and he was at Liverpool as well. Jesus Christ, Liverpool. How they had Borini, I don't know. But for this level, he's fairly decent. Depali at right back is a decent Serie B defender, but their squad is nowhere near ready to be challenging in Serie A and nowhere near ready, really, to make a mockery of this league. One good young player they do have is Yepes in the middle of the midfield. I've definitely pronounced his name wrong. The Spanish holding midfield player came through the Samp Academy, has played 9 games for Samp already, so a little bit of a homegrown Spanish talent in Italy. Can you take Sampdoria back to the big time and make Vialli's former club the best club in Italy again?